Hi and welcome to Read by Red. I'm Red and today I'm going to be reading some r/PettyRevenge. So give the video a like and here come the stories. Yes, you shouldn't have fired the French teacher. When I was moving from middle school to high school in the super early 2000s, I was supposed to be going into my third year of French. I loved taking French and was friendly with the one French teacher they had to teach 7th to 12th grade. Turns out they decided to fire her over summer due to budget cuts, but could hire yet another Spanish teacher when a foreign language credit was required to graduate. When I informed my mum, she got pissed and went to the school board, who finally decided that they could offer a different credit for those who didn't want to transfer to Spanish. She was not happy about that since it still meant I was deprived of a foreign language class that I loved, so we cooked up our little revenge. See, Mum had taken French all her school years as well, so from then on, every school note was written in French. Every single one. The staff tried to complain, to which my mother and I both would respond that if they couldn't read it, I guess they shouldn't have fired the French teacher. It was also nice that while I wasn't able to learn much more, I still had my French-English dictionary and knew proper sentence structure in French. Anything that needed to be turned into the office from me was also in French. Oh. I mean, that sucks though that they got rid of the French teacher. But, I mean, at least you had an option. When I was in high school, the only language that we had offered at the school was Indonesian. And let me tell you, that is the only class I ever failed. Okay, here is the next story. Landlord didn't want to replace the mailbox key. My boyfriend rented a room in an apartment with 3 other guys that he didn't know beforehand from a sucky landlord. The landlord did many sucky things and he so deserved this and more. The guys already lived there when my boyfriend moved in and somehow they broke the key to the mailbox before my boyfriend moved in with them. They had mailed the landlord asking for a new key, but the landlord would charge a massive price, way over what it cost just to make a new key. So the guys didn't pay it and just used a food thong. Tongue, maybe? Used a food tongue to get the mail out through the small hole the mail is dropped in. My boyfriend, of course, refused to pay since the key was already broken before he moved in and just used the guy's method with the tongue. When the time came for all of them to move out last summer, my boyfriend was the last one to move out. He had planned with the landlord to meet at the house at 4 PM to go over the house and deliver the key. 4 PM came and he didn't show up. 5 PM and still no landlord. My boyfriend sends him a message after message, but he didn't answer. When the clock turned 6, he was fed up, locked the door and put the tiny house key with just a little key ring in the mailbox and emailed the landlord that the key is in the mailbox. Next day, the landlord sends my boyfriend an email asking how he was supposed to get the key out of the mailbox. My boyfriend just said there are tongs in the kitchen. My boyfriend hasn't heard from him since. Okay, here's the next story. Spicy sausage. This happened when I was back in school, but still feels very satisfying when I think about it. Of course, most schools have their share of bullies, but this boy was a real bum. I didn't mind picking on girls, me included. It was around the beginning of the school year and I had a nice new fluffy pencil case that I just loved. Unfortunately for me, the bully seemed to take a liking to it too and started to mess with me, holding it above his head, throwing it to one of his equally annoying friends, and then shoving it down his pants, full on in his underwear. Ugh. And daring me to come get it. Ugh. He could obviously tell this grossed me out, so of course this just made him do it more. In fact, every opportunity he had that day, he would grab it and shove it right back down there. By the end of the day, my pencil case had completely lost its appeal and I was embarrassed and angry, so I decided to sacrifice it in the most petty way possible. That night, I completely covered it in the hottest chili powder we had, put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in my school bag. The next day, I carefully took it out of the Ziploc, placed it on my desk and deliberately turned my back on it. Literally within seconds, the bully boy grabbed it and yep, straight down the pants. I honestly think I saw the moment his soul left his body and he realized immediately what was happening. Off screaming to the bathroom he went. I'm actually surprised I didn't get into trouble for it. I guess he was too embarrassed to go to the nurse or a teacher, but he did leave me alone after that. But that's so gross. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, here is another story. Enjoy the puppies! It's a beautiful snowy day in New England, so I grab my camera and my 2 dogs for some outside fun. All goes well until I make it to an open field and start throwing a ball for one of my dogs. All of a sudden I hear somebody yelling their dog's name. I turn around and notice one of those curly-haired designer dogs running towards us. This dog of course ignores the owner and approaches quickly. She runs up and starts sniffing my dog, then runs between my legs, tangling with my leash. One of my dogs is leash reactive, which means he can freak out if a dog approaches him. So I just stand there calmly, trying to hang on to my camera and a ball launcher and the leash, waiting for the owner to take his dog and put her on a leash. This is an annoying story that happens almost daily, so I've learned not to let it bother me too much. He finally gets there and pulls her away, but instead of putting on a leash, he kind of shoos her away in another direction. 2 minutes later, I hear him yelling her name again. Guess what? The exact same story happens. My reactive dog is actually okay. He clearly doesn't consider her a threat, so I just wait for him to approach and take the dog away. I'm sure he'll put her on a leash this time. He doesn't. The dog approaches for a 3rd time. I look behind me and see that my dog has started humping her. I usually would ask him to stop, because I know people get annoyed about this even though it's harmless. My dog is fixed. But this time I just laugh and shake my head. The owner is approaching quicker this time. "Please don't let him do that," he yells. "Do you have a leash? Is your dog neutered?" "Yeah, I'm sure he just got her pregnant." "She's in heat!" Oh my god. What is she doing off-leash approaching other dogs then? "We were just playing." Well, enjoy the puppies. Okay, I haven't had a dog since I was a kid. Even so, I would know not to let my dog in heat go out around other dogs, because that seems just like a recipe for puppies. And I don't want to deal with puppies. My birds just had babies and that is enough effort. So yeah. Well, I hope you all enjoyed those r/PettyRevenge stories read by Red, that's me. Please give the video a like if you didn't do it earlier, and also subscribe if you haven't, because I make videos every day and I'm sure you'll enjoy hearing more. Thanks so much for watching today.